Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? It's your man, 100 Grand Ross with the Rock Never Stops. It's good to be back. Sorry, I'm a little bit late today. Definitely a little bit late. A couple hours later than I thought I would be. Got a chance to hoop this morning. We won a few more games than I thought we would have. And sometimes it's hard to get off once you on. And then I had to get in my workout. Then I came back and I was exhausted because your boy is getting old. Um, But I wanted to make sure that I got online with y'all. Started talking about this trade deadline coming up. But before I do, as always, if you haven't already, please feel free to smash that like button. Remember, it's a small thing for you, but it's a big thing for the channel. So I appreciate all the love and support. This community is growing, it's beautiful. Don't forget to hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. And if you have an opportunity, consider becoming a member in 2026. It's a dope community to be a part of, and your membership definitely helps to sustain the channel. Definitely appreciate y'all. Yo, Ghost Keeper, William Hurst guy. Yo, it's good to see you. What up, though? What up, though? Can't wait for tomorrow night, bro. Hopefully, everyone back from injury. Yeah, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I yeah. Yeah. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. Look, this is one of those situations. Uh, where I think there's going to be a lot of interesting navigation of what this trade deadline is going to look like based upon basically how Trajan Langdon perceives this team, how JB Bickerstaff perceives this team, and really the conversation today is how do you perceive this team? Because the reality is we're 28-10, number one seed in the Eastern Conference, second best record in the NBA. Do you see that there's these huge deficits? I mean, you got people talking about we need to go out and get Michael Porter Jr. People talking about go get Trey Murphy the third. There's all sorts of guys on people's radar. Yeah, Quentin Grimes is on my radar, right? I also mentioned guys like Kyle Anderson, and we're going to get into all of those guys. But how do you perceive this team? That's like a real question to ask yourself because sometimes it's fun to play real GM, right? Get on NBA.com and spin the little or maybe it's on ESPN. I don't know. Where you like putting your trades and it does all the calculations and where the team is at next to the salary cap and trade exemptions. Um, and then you have you put in the guys you think you can get, and then it pops out and it's like, oh, this trade goes through, and you're like, oh, I'm a genius, I can do this, right? But there's so much that we don't see on the backside, on the back end, right? There's things like chemistry, right? Culture, team identity, guys that are working hard for their opportunities, guys that are learning to fit in, guys that play different roles that you may not perceive of value, which is why some of the people that I might recommend towards the end of this, you may not necessarily even be thinking about because not everybody is going to play the same role and not everybody's role is going to allow them to be featured in a way that gets you excited. Right? I know I was listening to um, Downtown Deuce yesterday, and I think it was I forget who it was on the show with him, but they were talking about Karis LeVert being disappointed, and I was saying, well, I'm curious what Karis LeVert's role is on the team, and not just on the court, in the locker room too, as a guy who's able to mentor people, right? Show them the ropes, teach them professionalism, show them how to show up and be consistent, help them to be aware of what's going on. Like there's so many different things that take place when you think about the orchestration of a team, and these are all things that. Yep, Eric Vincent. Yep, thank you, Ghost Keeper. I'm telling you, I got a dope chat because y'all be on it. I throw out something like, I wonder what this is, and y'all like AI. Yo, you already on it. You my AI. You know what I mean? You my chat GPT. Look, it's just to say the moves that this team is going to make, we might presume that they might make or think they should make, really does come down to how you see this team. And I'm curious how you all see this team, considering that they're the number one seeded team in the Eastern Conference. And it doesn't look like they're going to give that up anytime soon. Look, I know that there are other teams that are close behind us, right? Maybe 2 games out, 3 games out, right? But let's keep in mind all the injuries that we've had, currently have. Let's keep in mind all the guys that keep stepping up, showing up, guys that keep filling in, playing bigger and bigger roles, showing that they deserve more and more playing time, more and more opportunity. Guys like Dennis Jenkins, Javante Green, Paul Reed. Neither of those guys, not any of those 3 guys, did we go into this season being like, he is going to be a part of our rotation. None of them. Our rotation was supposed to be Cade, Ivy, Asar, Tobias, Duran. Off the bench with Karis LeVert, probably Marcus Sasser, Duncan Robinson, Ron Holland, and Isaiah Stewart. That was supposed to be our 10. That was supposed to be our 10. And Marcus Sasser was going to have to fight with Karis LeVert for that role, right? Lead guard off the bench. But that was our rotation. And then all of a sudden, things happen. We got foul trouble. Guys can't quit playing defense with their hands. Duran's in foul trouble. Stu's getting the technical and tossed out of games. And all of a sudden, B-Ball Paul is inserted and he's doing his thing. And all of a sudden, we're like, yo, this dude, B-Ball Paul, is a player, bro. He's doing things for us that we're beginning to rely upon, beginning to see as a fundamental a part of what makes Detroit basketball. We don't get to 28-10 without B-Ball Paul, without Javante Green, without Dennis Jenkins. And so when we think about what these guys are doing, what this roster looks like, from my perspective, I almost think we need to lighten up the roster. And I want to go into that a little bit because what I mean by lighten up the roster is that we might need to unload some guys, but we need to bring in the right type of guys to play the right type of roles on this team. In other words, I would love for us to bring in some veterans who don't mind being on the bench, who aren't guys in contract years looking to create opportunities for themselves, guys who can be bought in, guys who can play our brand of basketball when called upon. Because, like I keep saying, injuries happen. And so we have to be ready when we're called upon. One of the main guys that I took a look at that I really liked, was Kyle Anderson. Kyle Anderson, throughout his entire career, has been a winner. Started off with the San Antonio Spurs, went over to Memphis, time in Golden State. Um, where else was he at? Some other place. And then now he's in Utah. But everywhere he's been, when he has been in the rotation, he has been a part of winning. He has been a part of winning every single time. Yo, what's good, Devereaux? It's good to see you in the chat. We got Kevin Williams in the chat. Kyle, high IQ guy. Yep. Kyle is a high IQ guy. D-Boy, what's good? It's good to see you, Ghost Keeper. All my friends keep talking about Michael Porter Jr., and I always have to leave the conversation because I do not want him at all. I'm in a similar vein as you. He is not Detroit basketball. He's not. He's the type of dude that likes to take all the shots and not get back on defense. That's who he is. That's not winning basketball. That's Brooklyn Nets tanking basketball. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Remember the last time he was a part of winning basketball in Denver? What was the role that he had? The role that he had was minimal. He was a shooter. Hopefully could rebound. Maybe get out in transition a little bit. But he was a designated shooter. He was Duncan Robinson. He was a cone on defense. High level shooter. Now, some of y'all are saying we need shooting, we need shooting, we need shooting. I'm not mad at that. I'm not saying that we don't need shooting. What I'm saying is that what you're sacrificing on the other end, we have to take a look at because that's also a part of our identity. We didn't get to 28-10 because we're a great 3-point shooting team and we need to keep up our 3-point shooting in order to make sure that we keep winning. We got to 28-10 because we're a great defensive team. What happens if we get maybe considerably better shooting and then all of a sudden we get terrible on defense? What happens if we got to start two guys who are cones on defense? And Duncan Robinson is at least a good team defender. He's always in the right place. But Michael Porter Jr., I don't know if I would bet on Michael Porter Jr. being an integral part of a championship team. I'm not saying he's not a good player. I'm not saying he can't knock down shots for us. I'm not saying that Michael Porter Jr. can't be a part of what this team is attempting to do. But if you put Michael Porter Jr. next to Jalen Duren is going to struggle. He's going to struggle a lot, and I mean defensively. Offensively, it might open some things up, but it's not like Michael Porter Jr. is giving post entry passes. Michael Porter Jr. is going to shoot it, and he's going to demand a high volume of shots. So we have to really think about how he's going to impact not just our roster and not just in one statistical category, but across the board. Because basketball, remember, is played on both ends and it's played in many different facets of the game. If you're great at one, remember, I always tell y'all that one statement: a jack of all trades is a master of none, but many times is better than the master of one. Michael Porter Jr. is a master of one. The goal is really to have a high level jack of all trades on both ends. If you get multiple guys who could do multiple things on both sides of the ball, meaning offense and defense, not only can I shoot, but I can also get to the rim, maybe post up a little bit, get out in transition. But on defense, I'm a strong on ball defender and I can get rebounds or I get deflections and steals, right? I'm a hustle guy, energy guy, right? Like, can you give me something on both ends? Those guys tend to have far more value than the one trick ponies. Let's look at Oklahoma City. One of the most valuable players on the court was Alex Caruso, LeGuin's Dort. They play both ends. It's just what they do. And so when you think about what we might want to add to this team, you have to consider all the different aspects of team basketball, of winning basketball. Now, if I'm honest with you, if I'm honest with you, I'm not a fan of Michael Porter Jr. Not his personality, not his style of play. I mean, his aggressive shooting is really dope to watch. But I don't think there's any GM out there that says, I want to build around this guy to try to win a championship. I don't think there's a GM out there that says, I see him as a number two. Maybe a number three offensive option. Maybe. But you're going to have to insulate him. You're going to have to insulate him a lot. Like, forget the points per game. Is he better than Julius Randle? Probably say no. Is he better than Cooper Flag? I'd say no. Would I take him over PJ Washington? I would say no. Right? Like this is how we have to evaluate a prospect. Not just one thing that they do well, but what is their overall game like a potential impact on this team? I know we talked about Jaden Ivey yesterday, and the reality is, I love Jaden Ivey. I think he's going to be a promising prospect. I just think his timeline got kicked down the road after his injury, and this whole journey coming back to be ready to play uh, has really hurt his stock. Which, interestingly enough, probably means he's not going to get traded because his trade value is so low. It's just so low. I don't think there's a team out there that's like, oh yeah, we want to get him in here because we think he could be our starter. Right now, teams are like, is he? And do I want to really invest in it? And that's the real question. Are you willing to outpay the Detroit Pistons for Jaden Ivey? I don't think teams are. I don't think teams are looking at him in that way, which might mean that he either takes a qualifying offer, maybe a 1-and-1, gets paid similar to what he's getting paid now, 10, 11 million a year, has a one and one option. He can opt out if he has a great year next year and then he wants to extend again. Right? Pretty sure the Pistons will be open to doing that. But it's a far cry from the 20 something million that we thought he was going to get last season, last off season, just based upon what he did in the first half of the year. Either way, I don't think Trajan Langdon is any rush to sign Jaden Ivey at this point. Jalen Duren, yes, more so. Especially because it doesn't even look like Jalen Duren's gonna make the All-Star game. And I can see why. I can see why. Look, I'm not hating on Duren. I am thinking let's get into reality here. You're missing games. You're having a really good year, but you're not consistent enough. You're not consistently playing at this high level. You're not consistently taking over games. You're not consistently showing that you can be a hub for offense. You are not consistent. And the thing is, teams want to invest in what they can bet on. Jalen Duren, somebody tell me what is the actual trade deadline date? Somebody tell me what is the trade deadline date? Um, Let me see. Oh, Ghostkeeper said, hoping Ivy starts to get more aggressive. I think we all do. I think we all do. Um, that's something that he's got to figure out between the ears, how to assert himself. I think he's trying to, but he's gonna have to trust his body to explode. And sometimes when you don't trust your body, it shows. It shows, and it's showing right now. William Hers guy, what's good? One of my members, what's good? What's good? What's good? Yo, if you got anything on Duran being on the slam cover, drop it. Would love to hear your opinion. I haven't read the article. I am curious about him being on the cover, but I think him being on the cover has more to do with like the culture of basketball, right? He's somebody that culturally, I think people can gravitate towards, right? Um, Kind of has that throwback Ben Wallace type Adonis vibe, you know. Um, I think it's great for him. I think it's great for him. I think they're trying to appeal to a younger crowd because remember, Slam magazine was around when I was in high school. Like we used to collect those things. Well, I used to collect them. I had a big old stack of them, and I would reread them. Right? You'd see there was a portion of it that I used to say unfairly getting bench splinters. It would do the draft, and it would do the most likelies and all that, and then it would do like the high school guys in the back, the up and comers, right? We're reading about Perry Jones Jr. and or Perry Jones the third, and then there was Sebastian Telfair, which I want to watch that documentary on him because it's really interesting his whole journey, especially paralleled next to LeBron James is um, really interesting. But then you got all sorts of you know aspects to that magazine that are really interesting. I'm curious to see what they wrote about him, but I think it's great for him, great for his profile, and for the Detroit Pistons to get some love. You feel me? Um, see, B-ball Paul. See, hey, Mister 313. B-ball Paul was always a player. Been loving him since we got him. I've been following him since Philly. Uh, great, great addition to this team. Let me see. Adam says, I just got off the Nuggets podcast. I didn't know Jada Pinkett played basketball. Who did you think? Curly from the Ghost. That's funny. That's funny. Uh, hey, Mr. 313, we don't need shooting. We are the Pistons. We win by destroying the league on defense. Oh, I love that. But there might be fighting words for the people who think we just need more shooting. I get that the shooting is a real issue, right? Like if against the Clippers we had knocked down, let's say 3 to 4 more threes. And we got so many wide open threes. If we had made 3 to 4 more, we likely win that game. And that's got to be really hard to sit with because you're looking at a team that you're rooting for and you're just like, damn, if we could just knock down one of these things. And then here come the Clippers knocking down shots. Matter of fact, when we were up 14 in the fourth quarter, I thought it was one of those moments where it's like, man, if we hit one or two threes right now, Ty Lue's putting in the bench. Like he's packing it in. But we just couldn't put them away. Now here's the thing. As much as we could use more shooting, I'm still a believer that we are going to get to our averages. We are going to be a better three-point shooting team by the end of the season than we are right now. I think we're going to get to April, we're going to get to March, and we're going to be all right. We're going to be absolutely all right. We are not going to be um, some, world destroying three-point shooting team. We're not going to become the Golden State Warriors overnight, right? We're not going to become one of these high volume three-point shooting efficiency teams. That's not going to be us. But if we can hit enough, if we can get to a league average 30 something percent, right? 34, 35, 36%, we're going to be more than good enough. Because remember, it's all the other reasons why we keep beating teams. And that is the goal, right? To win, you got to figure out how your team wins. Let me get to some of these other uh D boy, if we get two cones, we are going to lose. I agree. I agree. Let me see. February 5th or 6th. I'm getting two different dates. Either way, it's coming up quick, less than a month. And a lot of moves are going to be made. Um, I just don't think about the Detroit Pistons. I really don't think the Detroit Pistons need to be active during the trade deadline. Like, if I could get a Karis LeVert for a Kyle Anderson right now, I'm happy, bro. I'm sitting pretty. I'm sitting pretty, bro. Because Kyle Anderson, 6'9", 7'2", 7'3" wingspan, extremely cerebral, great glue guy, pass the ball, sets people up, lets people know where to go, directs traffic. He's a connector, right? And I think that he could actually do wonders for mentoring Asar Thompson. And the more I'm like talking myself into this trade, if I'm honest with you. I think I think Kyle Anderson could be a great mentor for Asar Thompson because they have very similar styles of play, just very different athletic gifts. Kyle Anderson is an extremely versatile point forward. He always has been since high school days. He's been a point forward, and he sees the game. He sees the floor. But because of his athletic limitations, right? That's why he's nicknamed Slow Mo because he ain't rushing nowhere. There ain't no explosive nothing, and yet he always gets to his spots. Every time you think that you got an angle on him, he's like, nope. Every time you think that you get, nope. Okay, I'm about to spin right off you. Oh, little hezzy, little step through, Euro step, right? He's always a step ahead of the defense. Asar Thompson many times feels like he's always in a rush. And something that my coach used to say back in college, he was like, go fast but don't rush. Go fast but don't rush. We played in a high pace offense. Um, and so he was always looking for us to push the ball, push the tempo. But don't rush. And he's talking about mentally. He was talking about like mentally. Are you rushing? Are you moving so fast that you can't process what the moment is supposed to hold, what you're supposed to do, what is needed, what the play is, what the scheme is, who's on the court with you, who's on the court on the other side of the ball, right? Like, are you going so fast that you aren't aware of yourself? And sometimes that's Asar Thompson. Having Kyle Anderson there could be an amazing mentor for him. Amazing mentor. And I would be willing to invest in that. Now, look, if we got to give up a second round pick to the Utah Jazz for Kyle Anderson to take on Karis LeVert, I'm not tripping. I'm not tripping. And that could be our whole trade deadline move. Like that's it. Because when I look at the rest of this roster, oh, we're good, bro. We're good. Like Kate is only going to get better. Duran is only going to get better. Asar Thompson is only going to get better. Jaden Ivey, Dennis Jenkins, Marcus Sasser, right? Paul Reed, Isaiah Stewart. All these guys are only going to get better. Their shooting, their defense, their communication, their chemistry, and they're going to keep winning. Getting someone who can speed up that process, getting someone who can accelerate that timeline, I think could be an incredible attribute to this team. Kyle Anderson is a coach on the floor. He's someone who is 100% aware of what the team is needing. And he tends to be able to fill in and do exactly that. Exactly that. Let me get to some of these comments. What do I think about Najee Marshall? Ibrahim, 2250. You would hit me with that question. You know I like Najee Marshall, man. You know I like Najee Marshall. But he plays a whole lot like Ron Holland. And I would be hesitant. I would be hesitant. Let me see. Frank Nitty, all eyes on Ivy. I understand why. I understand why. Ivy has the greatest potential to make the greatest leap on this team right now. I just don't know if he is going to make that leap. I almost said can. I think he can. It just may not be this year. He's gonna have to learn to trust his body. And that is a mental obstacle that sometimes, I was just hooping this morning and I got some old shoes. I hadn't actually hooped really in like over a year. But since moving out here, like I just got back into hooping because there's a gym down the street, like 6, 7 minute walk. And my shoes were sliding all over the floor today. They've been slipping, so I already ordered another pair. About to get those Nikola Jokic's 3601. I do my research on shoes and everything I'm hearing back about those shoes has been great. Let me know what you think about the Nikola Jokic's shoes. Like 361 degrees is the brand. I've heard a lot of good things. Let me know if you've worn them, what you think of those shoes. I think his second shoe just came back out, or just came out recently. But the first one I heard was really good. I was sliding all over the floor. I had to keep wiping my shoes for every single play. It was mad annoying. But as a result, I didn't trust my my footing. I didn't trust my ability to stop my momentum. I didn't trust my ability to change directions, to plant and to move. I didn't. And so as a result, it's very limited in what I could do. I still did what I do, but it's very limited. Limited because I didn't trust my body. Jaden Ivey's in a similar space. I don't think he trusts his body at all. And so we're seeing a very limited game. Cortez Whitlow, what up, though? What you miss? Oh, man, we just talking about this potential trade deadline and different ideas of what's going on. I just talked about Jaden Ivey and his inability to trust his body and how that's impacting how he's showing up in these games. Let me see. Leading Lions. What's crazy is if we would have beat the Clippers, we would be talking differently about this roster if certain players could step up. I don't think so. I don't think if we had beaten the Clippers, we'd all of a sudden be talking differently. We shouldn't be, if I'm honest with you. That Clippers game, no one game should dictate how we're looking at this team. Go for stretches. Wait a few weeks, maybe a month. Like that's how I'm evaluating this team. It's kind of like every couple of weeks to a month where you're getting a solid 4 to 6 games in, maybe maybe 5 to 7 games in a couple of weeks. that might be a better predictor than just one game. So I wouldn't say, if we had beaten the Clippers, all of a sudden we have a different narrative. Um, Devereaux, everybody was collectively broke against the Clippers. Most nights won't be that bad. No, hey, real talk. And we'll also have Cade, and then we'll have Tobias eventually back and Isaiah Stewart, like guys who have been knocking down threes for us. I'm here for it. Sorry, I didn't have my breakfast. Went straight from the gym. I was gassed, y'all. I went so hard in the gym, bro. So hard in the gym. I love it. I love it to death. But damn, I went way too damn hard. I ain't that young no more. Um, I would love for us to do well when other players sit. The Lions, we do. We do extremely well when other players sit. You just saw Tolu Smith grab 14 rebounds, shoot 7 of 8 from the free throw line. He did great. Dennis Jenkins just had 15 assists. Our guys step up. Our guys were stepping up. We just weren't knocking down shots. I think if we have Stu, if we had Tobias, if we had Cade, we win that game. And Tolu had 4 blocks too. Thank you, Ghost Keeper. Thank you. Let me see. They need to play Asar better. Sticking him in the corner does nothing. Well, you're right. You're right. I don't think the game plan is for Asar to sit in the corner. I think sometimes players use that corner to rest because they're giving forth a lot of energy on defense. And I'll be real with y'all. Very few players have the energy to be two-way players. Very few. I mean, bro, like how many high-level two-way players are in the NBA today? I mean, like on both ends, they're elite. Like Anthony Davis comes to mind. I'll wait. There's not a lot. Most of them are great on offense, mediocre to good on defense at best. And that's considered a two-way player. Or you're great on defense and solid to good on offense. Let me see. Said Kyle Anderson reminds me of Cade. Okay, I can see that. Except Kyle Anderson doesn't have the ability to be a volume offensive scorer. Let me see. Uh, everyone is going to be healthy tomorrow versus Suns. Really, Maddox. Is that a quote? You know what? I'm just gonna go to the injury report because that's where they usually give you an update. Let me see. Injury report. Detroit Pistons. Boom. Wait for it to load. As of January 10th, Cade Cunningham's status was out. Isaiah Stewart, day to day. Jalen Duren, out as of the 9th. Today is what's today? So it's not updated. Today's the 13th. 14th. Today's the 14th. So right now, I'm not sure what the official update is. Maybe you saw something that I haven't. But if we are completely healthy, I would love to see that matchup. I mean, I'm going to watch it no matter what. But because what we're going to see is who gets the minutes. Real talk. Look, if we got Cade back and we got Tobias Harris back and Jalen Durant, that bumps Isaiah Stewart or Tobias Harris, right? We don't know yet. We think that move is going to happen sooner than later. Either way, that kind of solidifies the front court rotation. Duran, Stu, B-ball, Paul, Tobias Harris. Okay, that's four. That's our front court starting and the bench. Then we got Asar Thompson and likely Duncan Robinson. Off the bench, we're going to have Ron Holland. And this is where it gets interesting. I would say Javante Green has leapfrogged Karis LeVert. Is that a consensus by now? That we're all just kind of like, yep, Javante Green does more for us than Karis LeVert. I think we're all there, right? So if I look at the lineup, I'm going B-ball Paul, Tobias Harris, Ron Holland, Javante Green, and probably Dennis Jenkins. I think Dennis Jenkins has leapfrog Karis LeVert as well. Which is why I keep saying he's the odd man out. Mm, bro, I love a good yogurt. I might make another one of these. It's fire. Do like this cashew coconut milk yogurt, plant-based yogurt with like this like chopped pecans, potatoes. Um, and then I do like blueberries with a little bit of flaxseed. What else I put in there? Oh, dates. That's what sets it off with the dates. It's delicious. It's everything you need. Everything you got your protein, the antioxidants. It's got your omegas. It's an energy booster. Everything you need. Helps you to rebuild muscle. I used to be a personal trainer back in the day. I think I told y'all that. So all that stuff, it just logs away. You just do what you know to do, and you just see the results. That's why I could be over 40 and still hooping. Why? Hooping. Giving it to him. Ugh. Jumper. They be like, man, how you do that? Shit. Wish you knew. Wish you knew. All right, let me get into the rest of these comments. Uh, let me see. Be honest, what do you think of our half court offense? I think our half court offense is good enough. I'm gonna be honest with you. Everyone's half court offense sucks in the playoffs. You know why? Because you can game plan for it. You're seeing the same team potentially 7 times. Every game is a new game. There's no carryover. You're gonna make adjustments. The amount of energy that you put out from game to game. So when you think about the playoffs, I don't really care if you have a great half court offense. I mean, if you have an elite, like top five, like because really what you're looking for are the combinations. What are the ratings, the offensive, defensive ratings of certain combinations? That is what you're really trying to explore by the time you get into the playoffs, so that you put your most effective group out there. So you have your most effective crew on the court at a time. I want to say like the Denver Nuggets starting five, or the Oklahoma City Thunder's starting five, or even with Caruso six, right? Houston, Minnesota, When they have their best guys on the court, they are at their best. And then you start having your variations. Well, what about this combination with our sixth man? Right, what about the combination of the seventh guy and the eighth guy? What is their efficiency? What are the areas that they lack when these guys come into the game? So when I think about our half court offense, I'm less worried about that. I'm less concerned about that, even though it's not great. That's for sure. We don't really have the shooting to just set up against guys. But because we turn the ball over so much, because we're doing so well on defense and we get down the court, especially when Cade is not running point guard, when he's not playing point guard, man, our tempo is great. And it's just the eye test. I'm not running any data statistics. If you want to look it up, feel free. But when Cade is off the ball, we play at a much faster pace. Not when he's not on the court, saying when he is not on the ball playing point guard. We play at a much faster pace and allows us to get easy looks at the rim, easy runouts, one on one down the court to the rim. We finish, boom, we're right back on defense. If anything, maybe that's why Jaden Ivey has been focusing so much on defense because that is going to get him more playing time than just trying to be a great offensive player off top. That's the long term feature. Can he fit in on this roster? Can he be what this roster is needing him to be? And that starts with him on defense. It really does. It really does. Let me see. Some of these questions here. Cortez Whitlow, what up? What up? Maddox in a series, Pistons will beat the Clippers in 5 games. Now, I completely believe that. Cortez Whitlow, Ross, give me your trade that you think realistically happens. I think Karis LeVert is out of there. I think Dennis Jenkins has clearly outplayed him this season. He's far more cost effective. He's got great chemistry, brings a really great energy to games. He is doing everything you're supposed to do coming out of the G League, putting yourself on the map, putting yourself right dead in front of the conversation for your front office to have to make a decision on. Remember, Dennis Jenkins is not under contract for next year, I don't believe. When I look it up on Hoops reference, he is not listed as signed for next season. He is playing for his NBA future. And he's a dog. He is an absolute dog. I think Dennis Jenkins is everything that this team could have wanted. And he's proven he deserves that spot. Between Dennis, Javonte Green, Paul Reed, these guys have taken such a tremendous leap. Like, because even B-Ball Paul last season, you didn't see this ball handling, you didn't see these passes, you didn't see as much shooting, right? Every once in a while, he unfurled that three-point shot, unfurled it because it comes from way down here and he's, kind of whipping the thing, but he knocks it down. He's taken a huge leap. And as a result, it's really reconstructed how we look at this roster and who is valued where. So Karis LeVert, I think, is the odd man out. I think he's the one who ends up getting dealt, shipped away. Um, Depends upon who we try to get for him. There might be a team who really likes Bobby Clinton. I think teams like Bobby Clinton because he's filling out physically. He's rebounding better. And I think people believe in his skill, and they should. I believe in his skill as well. His passing, his ball handling, his shooting. He's a real cerebral kind of a guy, but he's going to be able to play multiple positions, and that fits a profile in the NBA to have value. Just not so much on this team. Because no matter how good he is right now, like maybe in 2 years when B-Ball Paul is up for unrestricted free agency, if he's not extended by next season, there's a good chance that's when Bobby Clinton will get an opportunity. But right now, he's just so far down the depth chart. Chaz Zanir is higher up on the depth chart than Bobby Clinton. And also, I mean, let me just talk about Chaz Zanir. He has made every bit of his opportunity to grow and develop in the G League, the Gatorade League. The G League has proven once again to be an invaluable resource for NBA teams, especially the Detroit Pistons. To be able to send a guy down there to get minutes, to learn your system, play your style, to be ready to go. Tolu Smith, right? Dennis Jenkins. You call them up and immediately they contribute. Immediately they are absolutely ready to go. And they're not necessarily selfish players who are like, oh, I got to get all the shots. They're kind of like, look, hey, I know what I'm doing. I'm in rhythm. I'm confident. And that is a big deal because not everybody has the confidence to really play at that level when they come up. Some people want to, and they're just not an NBA player. There's some guys who are just not NBA players. So our G League has proven invaluable for guys like Chaz Anier, which is why, once again, I think Karis LeVert is the odd man out. I think he gets dealt for like a bucket of chicken, maybe a side of biscuits. I would love if we can get Kyle Anderson for him, but to be able to dump his salary uh, and open up that cap space for re-signing Duran and Ivy, I don't think either of them gets the money that we think that they're going to get. I really don't think Duran or Ivy is going to get the money that we thought they were going to get. Because I keep telling you, the Detroit Pistons are bidding against themselves. I don't think there's a team out there who's going to clear up 40 million to try to steal Jalen Duran. Not a smart team. I don't think Jalen Duran is your franchise player. It's not saying I don't think he's good. I'm saying he's not a franchise. He's not the guy who's going to carry your offense or carry your defense that is going to justify a near max salary contract, especially in today's NBA. You just need more. You need a whole lot more. And the fact that he's probably not even going to make the All-Star game, it is what it is. You still got to re-sign Jaden Ivey too. And I think he gets a much lower deal. I think he's going to do probably like a qualifying offer, 9 or 10 million, 1 and 1 player option the second year. But then you got to re-sign guys like Tobias Harris potentially. I would love to re-sign Tobias. We can get 3 years, 8 to 10 million a year, or start him off at 12 and have it descending 12, 10, 8 over the next 3 years. I would be more than over the top for that. I would think that that would be a great, great option for the Detroit Pistons to get someone like Tobias Harris to re-sign him and bring him off the bench. Oh, Macklemore. Console says, "What if Duran makes the All Star game?" I think it shifts things. I think that's when you see Duran get the money that he's looking for, over 30 million. If you make the All-Star game in a contract year, you're going to get over 30. In today's NBA, you are going to get over 30. You've proven that value. And the team has to respect that value too, because they don't want to lowball you and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's bad blood between y'all, there's bad feelings. It just makes for a bad locker room. And that's not really necessarily what this team or organization is about playing for one another. They're about being locked in and being together. You don't want to disrespect anybody come negotiation time. Now, we still got to resign Dennis. We still have to resign. Uh, who else am I thinking of? Hold on, pull it up here. Like to have my stats ready when I'm reaching for it. All right, people we got to resign: Tobias Harris, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duran, Javante Green is a must resign. I don't care if he's 32 years old. We can give him 6 to 8 million a year. He's only making 2.3. I'm more than open to extending Javante Green. Side note, 20 people in here, only 13 likes. Smash the like button for me. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. And consider becoming a member today. It's 2026. Become a part of this community. It definitely helps out with the sustainability of the channel. Really appreciate all y'all. Real talk. Real talk. I really do. Um, yeah, we got a lot of guys to resign. Tolu Smith is not under contract for next season. Or Dennis Jenkins. I don't think Tolu and uh, guys like Wendell Moore are going to be hard to re-sign. But I will say this though, and I've been meaning to do a short video about it. I would love to see more Tolu Smith. Maybe it was first game jitters, right? That he was missing all those touch shots around the rim and all those putbacks. But he shot. Hold on, let me pull up. I'm gonna pull it up right now. My man Tolu Smith, 6'11", 265, 270 pounds. He shot 1 of 7. Ended up with a 9 point, 14 rebound, 4 block game. If he shoots, let's say closer to 50%, makes 3 of 6, that double double is nice. He was a great target, pick and roll, right? Even created a lot on his own. I would love to see more Tolu Smith. And we need to re-sign him too. Let me see, get to some of these comments and questions here. Just answered Cortez Whitlow's question. Ibrahim, bad idea to trade Ivy. I don't think it's happening. It's just his trade value is too low. Um, you see, already got to that. Tolu had 4 blocks. That was a great point. Ghost Keeper. It's hard to play on both sides. It really is, and it's an adjustment. Dwayne Pritchett, my man, what's wrong with you, Kyle Anderson? Man, because I'm not seeing Kyle Anderson as a featured player. Seeing him as a guy who can come in and contribute at a high level. Like Kyle Anderson, believe it or not, he gets his hands on plenty of loose balls, deflections, tips, blocks, rebounds, assists. He's always around the ball. He's always helping with the efficiency of your team on both sides of the ball. Great communicator on defense and offense. He holds guys accountable. Remember when he was checking Rudy Gobert in Minnesota, right? All these different things. Kyle Anderson is a winner, bro. It's a winner. And if he can be on our bench, he's number 12, 13 on our bench, and he can sit there and mentor Ron Holland and Asar Thompson and get into their head and talk to them when they come to the bench, bro, that would be so huge. It would be so huge, bro. It would be huge for us. Let me see. Uh Let me see. Slow-mo style of play, not offensive game. LOL. Facts. 100% Javante Green, my favorite player. Yo, he's becoming so many of our favorite players. Real talk. Javante Green just keeps doing what he does. Even though last game his shot was not dropping. Um, see, Javante actually started for us. Shot 1 of 5, 2 of 6 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. I just think that was just a bad shooting game from all of us. Outside of Duncan Robinson. Couldn't nobody hit the broadside of the barn. Jaden Ivey was 0 for 5. Ron Holland 1 for 7. Paul Reed misses only 3. Karis LeVert 0 for 3. Dennis Jenkins 1 for 3. Marcus Sasser 0 for 4. Like, that's very uncanny to have that type of shooting game. But the 4 days off should definitely help. Get our legs under us. Get ready for this push for the All-Star game. Let me see. Okay. Oh, there's a whole bunch of comments haven't. Look, if you got a comment that I haven't gotten to, please send a super chat. It's easier to catch it. Or if you're a member, it highlights you So like, I'm kind of drawn to that quicker. It's easier to catch the comments here. Stu was so gassed when he dropped 31 points. I know, bro. It was almost kind of endearing, right? Because you got Isaiah Stewart. It's just he's not known for even taking that many shots, but he's been increasingly uh, aggressive on the offensive end, which I've appreciated. I think he needs to be shooting 3 to 5 threes a game. He has a really good 3-point shot. And when he's aggressive on that perimeter, he can really have the opportunity to open things up for us in our half court offense. And he's got a great arch on that shot, which means that he doesn't need a lot of space to get it off, and he gets it off quick enough. And then, of course, his shot blocking basically ignites our fast break in a beautiful way. You see, William Hurst guy was good. Gotta be on the no fat plant Greek yogurt. That shit got so much protein. You know what? There's protein in the non dairy yogurts too. Remember, dairy is an inflammatory, meaning swelling, inflammation in the joints, muscles, and when you get in a good workout, it's the last thing you need is a lot of inflammation. You already got the lactic acid buildup. You need to get rid of a lot of that and drink plenty of water, which is actually what I should be doing right now, is drinking plenty of water. How about that? Look, 24 people in the chat, only 16 likes. Do me a favor, smash the like button for me. Remember, it is a small thing for you, but a big thing for the channel. Really helps out with the algorithm. Also, hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. And consider becoming a member in 2026. It really helps out with the sustainability of the channel. Y'all are hella dope. I appreciate all of y'all. Real talk. Uh, Ross, do you think the Pistons could beat Oklahoma City Thunder? We played them on February 25th. Can't wait for that one. Yeah, I think we can. I think we cause a lot of problems for a lot of teams. Our physicality, our length, our speed as a team, our size on the perimeter. Even though we're not huge on the interior, we are really, really big, long, athletic, quick um, on the perimeter. And that pressure is, man, it's real. Like, it's felt, and you can see it. It wears teams down. There are guards, it doesn't matter how good you are, man, it wears you down. It wears you down. So could we beat Oklahoma City in a series? Hell yeah. I mean, if you could rotate Asar, Cade, Ivy, Ron, Javante, all on SGA and J-Dub, and then you put Duran, Stu, B-Ball Paul on the interior to defend the rim and rotate over, that's a lot of length. It's a lot of athleticism. It's a lot of rim defending and perimeter defense. I think we can slow down both those guys, but we are going to have to grow up fast because how we would lose to Oklahoma City. Can we beat them? Yes. How we would lose to them is by not doing the little things. Leslie Willis, yo, what's good? It's good to see you in the chat. It's good to see you in the chat. Would you take Malik Beasley? No, no. Malik Beasley is about an inch taller than Marcus Sasser. Doesn't have the shot creation. Doesn't get to the rim the same. Um, Shoot, he might have saved us against the Clippers, but his defense is atrocious. Um, doesn't rebound. Doesn't really pass. You know, it's not necessarily in a high demand to be a one-trick pony. Not in a bad way, but a master of only one thing who also takes a lot away from your team in a lot of other areas. On the perimeter, he's too small. He can give the effort, but it's against starting level players. They just don't even recognize him. I don't think Malik Beasley is a part of this team's future, and I think I've been saying that all along. Even before the stuff with the gambling and all that stuff, he got acquitted of it. Okay, dope, but I don't think he was somebody we were going to bring back either way. If we did, it was going to be on a cheap deal. And I think Javonte Green would have already outplayed him. Ron Holland would have already outplayed him for those minutes. Dennis Jenkins would have already outplayed him for those minutes. We just don't need him in the same way. We just don't. Let me see. Let me see. Get to these questions. Uh, Devereaux, yeah, teams keying on players, which is why I think Michael Porter Jr. move would backfire when they take away shooting from him. What else are we getting from him? That is 100% the case. And remember, everyone's shooting percentage goes down in the playoffs. And then when you're also a cone on defense and you're getting targeted, you can't have two guys in the starting lineup getting targeted on defense. It just doesn't work. Just doesn't work. Has Karras, reading line says, has Karras done anything this year? He fades into the background uh, where I don't remember what he did. It's very true. I know he's had a few games that were pretty good games, but Karras Levert by and at large has been, I'm not going to say a disappointment because I didn't have a lot of expectation for him, but I would definitely say that he has not necessarily performed in a way that says, oh, yes, he is a part of our team. I just don't see him, and not so much a part of a team, but like a part of our future, a part of the core that's going to get us to a championship. He just doesn't impact the game significantly enough. He doesn't defend well enough. He doesn't do a lot of things when he doesn't have the ball in his hand well enough um, to justify a lot of those minutes. Though he is one of our better 3-point shooters this year, but he also probably gives up just as much on the on the defensive end, even though he's given really good effort. But then he's also always hurt too. So I have to ask myself, like, do I want to play Karis LeVert? Do I want to play Dennis Jenkins? Jenkins. Do I want to play Karis LeVert? Do I want to play Javante Green? Javante. Do I want to play Karis or Ron Holland? Ron. So where does he fit in? Do I want to play Karis over Jay Ivey? Probably not. I'm still more interested in Jaden Ivey than Karis LeVert. My eyes are drawn to Jaden Ivey over Karis LeVert. That's just the reality of it. Let me see. Ibrahim, trading Karis LeVert would be like Toronto trading Rudy Gay, addition by subtraction type of move. I can see that, but I will say this: Rudy Gay today, in today's NBA, would eat. He would absolutely eat. Rudy Gay in today's NBA would be Andrew Wiggins. He'd be a great addition for some team. Just in his day, they just required a little bit more out of that position. I mean, that was the Carmelo Anthony era. Paul Pierce was still thriving. LeBron in his prime. They just required so much more from that position. Say salute, yo, Brian Smith, salute, dog rock. What's good? Hopefully the Pistons return to form versus the Suns. I think they will. Um, Macklemore console. What if he makes all? We already talked about that. Devereaux, how much do you think they signed Jenkins for? Probably less than 10 million a year. Probably somewhere between 6 to 8 million. Let me see. Macklemore console. Tell me another big like Duran in the history of the game. Dude is a freak. I mean, you got the Alonzo Mournings, Carl Malones. Guys are just like really physically imposing and athletic, coordinated with good touch, good hands. Um, those guys come to mind. He's somewhere in there. I think if he, I think he gets closer to a Carl Malone type of player with a little bit more defense of an Alonzo Mourning, and that's still a potential perennial All Star player. I just don't think it happens this year. Just hasn't been consistent enough. He needs to unleash that jumper all the way. And I mean, like, just real basic. Catch it 15 to 18 feet out. Turn face if they lay off you. Pull it. Then mix it up with some pump fakes and drive by them. You know, you just have too many physical gifts. And I think Jalen Duran needs to become more comfortable. And he is. I'm not saying he isn't, but needs to be more comfortable with staying aggressive. And we just haven't seen that for a whole season. He's had moments where he just kind of fades out. Still moments where he commits bad fouls. Just like really silly, foolish, immature fouls. And I think I've been saying this for a minute that that's our greatest weakness is maturity, not 3-point shooting. Ghost Keeper, yeah, I appreciate that. Yo, make sure y'all smash the like button. Remember, it's a small thing for you, but a big thing for the channel. All right, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you want, hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. This is an interactive live chat. And consider becoming a member in 2026. Why not? Why not? I know you're enjoying this. It's a great conversation. Pistons are doing well. There's a whole lot to talk about, and we're talking about it here on the channel. Let me see here. Uh, oh yeah, some Tolu comments. I'm getting all that. Yup. Okay. Coming off this break, Ivy should be in the starting lineup. It's a must. Cortez Whitlow, I'm here for it. I don't know if it happens, but I'm here for it. The sooner the better. We need to figure out what it is and what it's not. But the reality is also the Detroit Pistons can afford to keep taking it slow. Look, Jaden Ivey agreed to this plan also. If I was Ivy, I would have said, I don't care if I have to wait until the New Year's because I still believe in my game. I just need to make sure that I am 150%, not 100%, not 90%, not 80 or 70, not the 60% he came back at, 150%. I hit the ground running. The moment I step onto the court in practice, everyone sees that's why they wanted me to start. There is no, he should have came back in a way, and I've been saying this. Jaden Ivey should have came back in a way where Duncan Robinson was never allowed to start while he was healthy. Period. Period. And he messed around, came back, wasn't ready, and Duncan Robinson has only entrenched himself in that starting role all the more. See, we still need a better point guard for the playoffs. I don't trust Dennis Jenkins. He gets out of control. A slow shot, signs of not being a first-rate NBA point guard. Colin Sexton, Kobe White, Malik Monk. You know what? I can respect that. But a couple of things he does do well. He's a really good facilitator, high level facilitator. He's a really solid point of attack defender. He does a great job, great energy, infectious energy, and that's a real skill. Playing with a high motor is a real skill, and he has leadership intangibles. I've seen that. Gets guys together at the free throw line. Lead guys. He's always kind of pointing and talking on both offense and defense. He plays both sides of the ball. He has a lot of positive attributes. And considering the fact that he's also friends with Marcus Sasser, he understands the system, the culture, the identity. When you look at these other guys like Sexton, Kobe White, and Malik Monk, like I like Sexton, but he gets hurt a lot, and he's not known for defense at all. Kobe White and Monk, not known for defense at all. I think they could buy in, but how much do you really want to spend for those guys? For a backup point guard? How much are you gonna have to give up to get one of those guys? So keep those things in mind. That's for Dwayne Pritchett. Ghost Keeper, you've been saying Tolu is a great depth piece. You know, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I've been saying he's a great depth piece because I didn't have much to really go off of. Uh, the moments I've seen him have been inconsequential and, unspectacular, if I'm honest. This was the first time we've seen him in extended minutes, and he has looked very good. He looks like a more physical Marvin Bagley III. Not quite as athletic, but similar play style. Marvin Bagley has a little bit more of a jump shot. Tolu Smith is a little bit more physical inside to do a little bit more there, but can get on the boards in a major way, throw his weight around, sets good screens. Right? I can't recall a single moving screen from Tolu Smith, which was huge considering the minutes that he played. Tolu Smith played 26 minutes, had 3 fouls. I don't think any of them were on the offensive end. I think it was like guarding guys like James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, right, getting switched out on guys. Um, yeah, I thought he did a great job on defense. But this was the first time I seen him in extended minutes. Let me see. Macklemore consult. Man, Duran playing above the rim, hitting middies, dropping dimes, gets blocks and steals, starting the break with the dribble at 6'10", 275. You see him in slam? I did see him in slam. He's an incredible talent, man. He really is. I don't want to hold you on that. Um, he just needs to be more consistent. We really don't know what we're going to get from him from game to game, and I think that is a problem. I think it really speaks to where he's at in terms of the steps he's taking in his game. He doesn't. He is learning more where to expect his shots, where to expect to get the ball, get into his rhythm. He's building that continuity. He's building that chemistry, but he's not there yet. He's not there yet. Leslie Willis, my guy Ross, how are you today? Thank you. Thank you for asking how I'm doing. I'm doing all right. I miss my daughter a little bit, so I'm a little sad. I'm a little, I'm a girl dad for sure. But uh, yeah, I got to hoop this morning. I got cut the first play of the game, man. Let's do it long. Brothers need cut their nails, man. I'm gonna start bringing fingernail clippers in like a gym bag or something. When somebody cuts me, be like, "Hey, bro, cut your nails. Time out." You get cut by somebody with long nails, you be like, "For real, bro?" I was like bleeding. So I'm doing all right, Leslie. I'm doing all right. Got my lunch. It was delicious. Thank you for asking. I appreciate you asking. Macklemore console. If we get Michael Porter Jr., they should move that OKC versus the Pistons game to ESPN instead. I don't want Michael Porter Jr. If we get him, sure. But if we get him, we got to move and have more of a defender on the perimeter. We just can't have two cones, and maybe that accelerates Jaden Ivey into the starting lineup. Who knows? I just know Michael Porter Jr. is going to really hurt us defensively and also culture wise. He's a weirdo, bro. Have you listened to him on his podcast? He's saying some weird stuff, bro. He's not a Detroit guy. He is not a Detroit guy at all. He's just not. He's not Detroit basketball. He's not. He's the type of dude that's just like I think his teammates are gonna be like, "Oh, hey, what's up, man? Keep it pushing." I just don't see Michael Porter Jr. being um, a guy for us that other guys want to play with. I mean, he's a great talent. He's a great talent. At 6'10", like a 6'10" Clay Thompson. He's rebounding a little bit better this year. He's doing a lot of other things well, but he's just not Detroit basketball. He isn't, and I'm not interested in bringing in anybody who's not Detroit basketball. Let me see. Let me see. Uh, Devereaux says, "I love Beasley, but the Knicks shut him down in the playoffs, and he had nothing else to give." Big facts. Shut it down. Karras has been in my Javante Davis voice, mediocre, mediocre for sure, for sure. Are you talking about Javante Tank Davis? Shout out to the boxing, bro. We got a great fight coming up with Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez at Madison Square Garden. I'm actually going to be at that fight. It's going to be a hell of a fight on the 31st. Ooh, I can't wait. Shakur about to get that boy to works, but it's going to be good though because Tio's going to be up for that fight. Let me see. Ghost Keeper. Make sure y'all smash the like button. Hey, follow my man's lead. 27 people in chat, only 19 likes. And I know some of them came early in this live. So if you can do me the favor, smash the like button. Remember, it's a small thing for you, right? Just tap the like button, but it's a big thing for the channel. I really appreciate all the love and support, real talk, and become a member in 2026. Um, Macklemore Console. He's 22, bro. Who you talking about is 22? Brian Smith. Yes, bro, you said it right, but you already and discipline is the main thing we need to be working on as a team. Yes, for sure. Mainly because our youth can beat us at times. That is 100% the case, bro. That is 100% the case. Even against the Clippers, we had moments where we lost our cool, but we were lost our cool at the wrong time. B-ball Paul, it was a terrible call on you in the fourth quarter. It was a terrible call. It's a horrible call from behind. I think Brooke Lopez had like grabbed your arm, or it was either Brooke Lopez or it was who was the starting center? Ivica Zubac had like gripped your arm a little bit. Y'all were tussling a little bit. You know what I mean? And he's like, and you were right there, you're playing physical, but nothing over the top. And he called that foul. I was like, bro, man, what are you doing? At the same time, you can't get the tech, bro. Not when it's a nip and tuck game, single digits, and we're trying to hang on to win, bro. It was just bad timing. And B-ball Paul is 25, 26 years old. We've got to get more mature. Devereaux, I agree with the G League take on Ivy. I think that would have done wonders for him. Big facts. Maddox, Ross, what you think could give us a hard time in the East in the playoffs? I don't think there's a team out there that can give us a hard time in the playoffs. But I will say this: the Cleveland Cavaliers at full strength. I mean, fully healthy. Talking Max Struess, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen, the whole works. That is a team that could get to the NBA Finals at full strength. I believe that if they're 100% healthy, and they're never 100% healthy. I don't believe in the Knicks because I don't believe in Carl Anthony Towns. I think Carl Anthony Towns is like Michael Porter Jr. Not a winner. He's not a winner. He wins when he's playing alongside other winners. But if it's just him, you're gonna lose. Let me see. Devereaux, I know your feelings about missing your daughter. I have too. I want to understand your pain. Man, that's my baby girl, bro. I'm probably gonna leave her a voice note after this. Um, but we're gonna add in another daddy daughter date. We got Saturday mornings, daddy daughter day, and then we're gonna do another one. I'm gonna try to do like a chess and check in type of deal where we play chess online and we talk and see how she's doing. She's playing tennis now. I can talk about my daughter all day. She's amazing. Um, let me see. Let me see. All right, these are the last few comments here. Devo87, facts. Thank you for saying that for me about Michael Porter Jr. Definitely not Detroit. Thank you. He's not Detroit basketball. And Jason Page, I know off subject, but your Kobe Sanders draft scouting was spot on. I told y'all. I told y'all. I wasn't mad at Chaz Lanier because he brought an NBA definable skill, shooting, scoring. And it's easier to kind of insert those guys, especially when you're a 4-year guy. And at the same time, Kobe Sanders at what is he, 6'8, 6'9, point forward, good athleticism, plays defense, makes good decisions. He's going to be in the league for a long time, and probably would have found himself in our rotation already because he got the heightened size and the physical strength and readiness to play in the NBA right now. Um, that would have fit in perfectly on the perimeter. Look, let me just leave it at this. Our trade deadline should be interesting. I don't think we make a major move. I don't think we have a piece that we're looking to make a major move with, unless we look to move on from Tobias Harris, which could happen. But I don't think that that's what we're looking to do. I think we're looking to maintain continuity, chemistry, building upon what we've already done. We are a 29-10 team, number one seed in the East. We don't need a major move. And so I'm not anticipating us making any type of a major move at this point. But as always, let me know what you think in the comment section after I post. I try to get to most of your comments, especially if you're a member. It pops up, it shows me a little thing. Consider being a member of 2026. Love to leave y'all with a little something for the day. Love to leave y'all with a little something for the day. I'll give you two things. One, be intentional about your time with your loved ones. Put your screens down unless you're doing like a show you watch together intentionally, and then just watch the episode and then keep it pushing. But be intentional about your time with your loved ones, man. You can spend a lot of time around them and still not actually be spending time with them. There's a difference. You could be around someone and not actually be engaging with them, not connecting with them. And so you can end up being in the same room feeling alone. And that's very common for people in relationships or within a family construct, right? Being around a whole bunch of people who you really don't feel connected with because you're not really actually talking, getting to know one another. So spend intentional time with your loved ones. Also, um, I'll give you this big tip that I give. I used to be a personal trainer. I used to tell you this all the time. If you just do a little bit every day, you will do wonders for your goals. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Try instituting doing 25 push-ups before you take a shower. 25 push-ups. I'm actually going to start this today. I'm going to do 50 push-ups and 50 air squats before I take a shower. And before I go to bed, I do some stretching and a set of planks. It's just little moments, little 3 minutes here, 2 minutes there, that just keeps you in that mode. Okay, I take a walk instead of driving when when the weather permits. Right. I ride a bike instead of driving when I can. Right. I try to substitute, a non-dairy yogurt for the regular, dairy yogurt, right? Like little things along the way make a huge difference. And when you start enjoying the process of doing these little things, it's kind of what I talked about before is enjoying the process of being great, enjoying the process of getting to your goals, the process. So if your goal is weight loss, muscle mass, continue playing a sport or what have you, enjoy the process. If you got to change your diet, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Hey, if you gotta put down pork, swine, and all the red meats, okay, make some bomb ass fish, right? Start learning about lion's mane mushrooms that you can turn into freaking, you know, uh, delicious burgers or stir fry, or you can make them into tacos and stuff like that. So much stuff. You're gonna do it. Enjoy the process of getting to your goals. That's how you get to your goals. And the reality of it, it's not even about getting to the goal. It's about developing a process that becomes a part of your lifestyle. So, as always, have an amazing day. Love deeply, laugh hard as hell. What's the other one? And live this day to the fullest. Yo, Devro, I appreciate that super chat. You know what? I appreciate that, man. I really, thank you. It's the little things, y'all. It's the little things that make your day. Y'all make my day every single time. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all have an amazing day yourself. And I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. Peace.